Welcome back everybody, Sive here with the ForexPeaceArmy.com. Let's update our view on the Bitcoin market. Here as you can see, very fast action to the downside, and the impact even has reached the highest standing charts. So particularly speaking on monthly chart, we have one important thing that will have long-term consequences. First of all, let's consider possible destination points that market could try to reach in this downside action. You could see that harmonic swing that we have discussed mostly is completed, and market has completed a daily target that we have specified last time. On the monthly chart, the nearest support area will be the previous top, is around 65, 68, somewhere like this. And this also will be this minor consolidation here. They will provide support to the market. It's also interesting that here's where coming to the yearly pivot support one. And for the market, it will be vital area. So usually, if market breaks the yearly pivot, it tells that the new bear trend is starting, long-term bear trend. Normally, if market stands with a bullish trend, it could retrace to the yearly pivot, but it has to stay above it to keep long-term bullish tendency, big tendency. As I said, correspondingly, if market will break it, it means that this tendency is over. So we come into the new bearish market. That's the first moment. Second moment, maybe it's not as important for current trading, but it is very important for the long term. You can see by looking at the Jod Napoli, the trended oscillator, that market has broken the oversold levels, historical oversold levels. So here we stand in the new monthly oversold. It calls by the Jod Napoli's volatility breakout, and it means that once this downside leg will be over, we will get some pullback. We are not predicting all the levels of the pullback, how deep it will be, but usually the volatility breakout suggests the second downside leg after the first one will be completed. It might be with a minor extension, just a retesting of the lows, or these lows that will be formed with the first leg, or it might be some extension of these lows. It might happen, but it definitely tells, the volatility breakout definitely tells that will not be some kind of the single leg and then upper continuation. There's definitely will be kind of the V-shaped performance within the few years. So that's what we could say based on the monthly chart. As you can see, conclusions, although they are long-term, but they are very important for understanding an overall market shape that could be taken in a, well, maybe 2-3 years. Speaking for the shorter-term perspective, currently all eyes stand on the 66, 68 area, whether it will be broken or not. By technical background, here's market has relatively good support, so it's, as I said, it's oversold, and also some natural support area, yearly pivot support. It also stands very close to the major 50% support level. So chances on the bounce exist. Besides, if you take a look on the lower time frames, so on a weekly chart, it's not critical drop below these lows yet, so market stands relatively close. The shape of the hand shorts is also possible. Yes, this is really big concern about the acceleration. You could even try to treat it as a three black crows pattern. It means starting of the big downside tendency. We will see, and background for that of course exists. But currently, based on this picture, we are not withdrawing yet this shape. Hoping that probably, or at least, not probably, but at least hoping that it might be formed. So at the current point where the market stands right now around 70, we will keep an eye on the possible bullish patterns. We have to be extra careful with any attempt to go long, just because of the overall things that we see here. It's really big collapse. But at the same time, usually at such moments, the most perspective chances for position taking are appearing on a breaking of the big tendency. Now on a daily chart, you could see that market has completed the target that we have specified. We said at least market should complete the COP. Acceleration here, it's not good sign for the bulls, but here we put some hopes on the oversold level. Maybe it will help to hold market from the deep downside drop. Next target based on the same ABCD pattern is OP around 52. Market could flirt a bit around it because yearly pivot stands around 66. So don't expect that it's if something will appear here, it will happen just in the blink of an eye. On the hourly chart or somewhere, market could spend some time in this range testing the support, and it needs to fade down the momentum that exists here. Currently bearish momentum very strong, and market just can't overcome it and just showing the V shape. It might happen, but it will happen only on the background of some big external event, political decision, I don't know, clarity act adoption, some big statements from the authorities or something. So it's definitely will be external impact. By itself, following with this background that market has right now, technical background, it hardly will be able to show any V-shaped retracement. So just be prepared for some patience and waiting what will happen around the 66, 69 area. On the 4 time frame chart, market stands on the points that we have specified for a potential bottom of the hand shoulders. So we said if pullback will start, it has good chances to start with the big patterns. Currently, we do not see yet that hand shoulder starts forming. So market just dropped to the target. We need to give market some time to see what will happen, whether it starts forming this pattern or not. For position taking, we need something like this, because without some kind of these patterns, it will be really risky to consider any bullish positions for now. Finally, if you're a scalp trader, trade on very low time frames on hourly chart, for example, here's you have good downside thrust, which is good for momentum bearish trades. So for instance, if you will see that market here based on this drop is showing 30%, 50% retracement, that might be a good opportunity for taking scalp short position with the downside targets around the 618 support of the whole upper direction. This is how Jordan bread body trade works. Thrust is suitable for this. Currently, we do not see yet the pullback, but if it will happen, that's on also the trade that you could consider. So that's our current view on Bitcoin. A lot of big things have happened, a lot of things to watch, because really the big pattern stands on the table, potential patterns that might be formed. So the situation here is becoming quite interesting. Let's see whether the market will be able to stay above 65, 66 area, because this is actually will be the last bullish outpost. If market will break it down, it might be significantly deeper action, at least first to the 57, 55, and so on. This is crucially important for the bulls currently to hold above 65. So that's all for now. See you next time.